So we met through our friend Daniel. I get a random text from Daniel with a voice note. Well, I play the voice note, and it's of someone rapping, and I was just like, that's cool. Like, who is that? He said, my friend Megan, and I'm like, cool. I would say a couple months later, Daniel sent me another voice note, and it was of Megan singing, and I was like, who the hell is that? And he was like, that's Megan. I'm like, who's Megan? And he was like, the girl I sent you rapping. And I was like, please get her to the studio. Like, I need to meet her, like, ASAP. The voice note that she sent, I had actually prepped a whole song off of the voice note. How would you describe it? How would...
My jaw hit the floor. I also want to say that I had no idea Daniel was sending him voice notes, which I think is an important part of the story, because I think if I would have known, I would have wanted to kill him. Shout out to Daniel. But that's God in a way, or whatever, you know, the universe or whatever, so to speak. Like, I think that it had to happen that way so that that relationship could grow organically, because I'm so, well, not anymore, so now that our relationship has flourished, but I was so protective of my writing, and I would only send those voice notes to like specific 2-3 people that I really like appreciated their opinion, or I knew that they supported. When I got up here and met him, for one, he was singing my writing back to me, and I had never had no one do that before. I'd never met somebody that I could build a musical relationship with ever, bro. Like, I knew people back in the neighborhood that wanted to rap and things like that, but like I never had like a musical connection with anyone. So to see that he built an entire production off of a fucking voice note and then was singing my lyrics back to me without like reading them or anything, my jaw was on the floor. I couldn't believe it. I came up with it in the shower, to be completely honest. We decided that we were going to kind of do this thing as a group. I personally didn't want to be like artist and producer, because he's more than a producer. And I was trying to think of that group name forever, man, and it really came to me when I was washing my hair in the shower.
That's a wonderful story.
I started writing. I've always just had a passion for writing, I think. I started at about 13, and I never took it serious. It was really just a hobby for me. Until about, I don't know, 10 years later, when I guess I started to see the writing elevate. But I could never put the pen down, to be honest with you. I've always had a passion for poetry and storytelling, and I think music, it just kind of fell into my lap, because whether it was music or not, I was going to be a writer.
Borrowed a keyboard from my cousin and never gave it back. I'm sorry, Luca. Thank you for your contribution to this. I will get you another keyboard if you want it.
You ain't getting your keyboard back.
I'm sorry, Luca. I joined a band. I was in a metal band when I was 15 as a drummer. Then after that, I joined an indie band, and then I started producing at like 18, 19. And then I met Mego, and we're here.
I am the storyteller. I am the writer. I feel like I kind of bring these skeletori ideas, and he kind of helps me, paint the picture. But I think that what I bring to this group is, as cliche as it sounds, is that pen. I'm a very prolific storyteller. I'm confident in that skill set. I've spent over 15 years working on it, and the place that I'm at now with it, I am sure no one can fuck with me.
Damn. My job in M.S.P is really to just make sure we're extremely well-rounded. You know what I mean? Like, that's the beauty of being like a producer. It's like I take on a lot of the background stuff to make sure that records are coming out as strong as they do as far as quality. Making sure hiring the right people to ensure the quality of the records come out is key.
I feel like we hear things in the yin and yang way. Like, we hear things completely differently. Like, I have the story and I have the writing down, but he helps me like bring without him, it's just a page in my notebook to me. He brings to the table what I can't even verbalize, if that's the right word, or like explain, but I don't have to with him. And I think that's why we work so well together, is because I can bring him an idea that's not done or that has very little color to it yet, and he immediately knows where the colors go. He immediately knows the direction that I'm trying to go in, and I think that's where we balance each other, because obviously the production and the writing part, but that vision of like bringing what I call a page of my notebook into like and breathing life into it. We complement each other really well on that. Before I met him, I was doing the thing where I had the lyrics written to someone else's beat, and I was going to a studio and blocking out studio time with an engineer that didn't give a fuck if the song went or not, right? And I remember like sitting in my car one time. It was middle of the night, and I'm like talking to the stars, and I'm like, man, if I'm meant to make music, I need this, this, and this. And I started like listing the attributes that he brings before I met him. It was the first time that I felt like I asked the universe for something, and it was like, okay, here you go, kid. You know, because like this is what you're meant to do, and this is why you're put on earth. And if that's what you need to like be proven that this is what you're here for, then I'm gonna give you that. And it connected my understanding of the divine a bit, as cliche as that might sound, of like when you're really put on earth to do something. I understand how rare finding that is. You know, so many people don't find their passion or their dream or whatever, and to like be handed this guy on like a silver platter was life changing. I was very lucky enough to find my passion at like 13, and I was very aware that it was. I think I didn't realize it was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I think that I treated it as a hobby for 10 years. That whole 10,000 hour rule, I did 10 years of just, this is what I do because it helps me learn about myself. It helps me channel emotions. It helps me work through anger. And it was a therapy thing for me. And I didn't ever treat it as if like, I'm going to go rock the world with these songs. And then over the years, you start to watch your writing elevate. And there came a time when I started writing melodies, because I was just writing raps and poems forever. Super basic. Like, when I got to a point of writing melodies, I think everything happened at once where I started writing melodies. I met him, and I had that inkling of like, no, this isn't something that you can put on the back burner anymore. This isn't something that's just a hobby, just another thing you do. Like, this is it. And I would say that it happened maybe 4 years ago. We're in 23. So yeah, I'd say I met him in January of 19. So I'd say 2018 is when I was like, oh no, this is different. You need to really start focusing and taking that serious. So yeah, it kind of happened in waves for me, I guess, you know. It's not very often that we write in the same room together. I think just not having that opportunity as often as we'd like, probably. I mean, we have, but most of the time that I write lyrics, I'm by myself in the corner of my bedroom, and I'm just, whether I'm vibing off a sample, just an instrument, maybe a loop I made myself. And so a lot of the times I have the lyrical content before the production's even done, and I send him a voice note with like this idea, and somehow he's mastered building an entire production off of a voice note, which is wild to me. But yeah, so a lot of the times that because I'm the lyricist here, like his pen works as well, don't get me wrong, but I'm so prolific with it, he doesn't really have to exercise that muscle too much. But yeah, it's usually me in the corner of my bedroom, just blocking out the world, seeing what I can pull out. Artists that inspire me are artists that are um, delivering real content and real context of records. So I go back to when I was a kid. I realized like all my favorite songs, all my favorite rap songs, because I was a rap head as a youngin, were stories, and I could read the lyrics without the songs, and it could tell me a story. So I would go. Nas is my favorite rapper, like ever. And then to switch up from hip hop, I'd go the melodies and the storytelling of like a John Mayer, you know. And then top three, so I need one more. I'm gonna have to say Pac, which is very West Coast of me, but Tupac instilled he showed me what passionate artists look like, you know? And whether you appreciated the lyrical content of what he was saying or not, this man can do a Hit 'Em Up and then he could do a Dear Mama. And I found that to be mind-blowing as a young kid when I found that. So yeah, what I say, Pac, John Mayer, and Nas, that's hard.
Definitely Smashing Pumpkins. Smashing Pumpkins is one of my favorite bands of all time. Deftones is one of my favorite bands of all time. Sigur Rós, I love Sigur Rós. References occur at random.
I don't even think like that. See, that's how, like, it's wild how different we are in our tastes of music. Like, we relate with a lot of stuff too, but like, do you see how different his answers were for his artists compared to mine? Like, it's wild how, but it, like, yeah, it gives you a very wide variety of, like he said, references. But I don't think I ever pull from references the way that you do, because you're working on the song from a completely different angle.
Right.
I have no references. I'm like, I feel like I'm not even there half the time. It's wild. That's dope. I like how different you're at. He said Smashing Pumpkins. That's hard. Most beautiful city in the world. I don't care what nobody say. Hey man, I love San Diego. I don't think that San Diego has influenced my creativity in any way, but I used to go down to Sunset Cliffs and sit in my car and write music, you know, and like, yeah, I love this city. I think that a lot of the times with other artists in other cities, so to speak, like in Atlanta or in New York or something like that, you hear the city's influence in a lot of those records. I don't think you hear that with us. Get ready. This is not a game. We've put everything into this. Thousands of hours, thousands of dollars, thousands of pieces of ourselves. This is not a game. But yeah, I think get ready and pay attention, because this is, this shit is getting real, bro. Let's go. This is Get to Know M.S.P. My name's Mego. You gonna say your name?
And I'm Drew.
Shit on your forehead. I was washing my hair in the shower.
That's a wonderful story. I was in a metal band when I was 15 as a drummer.
I am sure no one can fuck with me.
Damn. As far as quality, the quality that we needed for the record quality products. It's a challenge to like get to that quality, sacrifice quality, to bring out the quality of these full records, the quality that we really wanted when it comes to quality. His quality, to ensure the quality of the records come out in love with quality.
Cute, Dad.
You fuck!
Yeah. Ratata. I think I killed that, but we can do it again if y'all want to.
My brother said so.
With the yawn.
Shooting 3, 2, 1.
But the studio and making the icebox with the AC, that shit was the first thing that came to my mind.
Because I was not gonna give my best performance in that 100-degree box.
Fucking Sonic.
Got me fucked up. You acting like I'm being a diva. I'm like, no, I'm dying. I'm losing pounds as we speak. Merch is available online.
MoreSoulPlease.com. Shop today. Discount code not available.